Have you ever been watching a movie or a show and they show a character that is working with formulas with crazy symbols and you think, whoa, that person must be brilliant? Well, formal logic can look very much like that at first. And that's something that we're going to learn how to do in this section. But you may wonder at first, why would we want to even do such a thing? Why not just stick to good old English? Natural language is what we call the languages that we actually speak to each other, stuff like English, Spanish, the German. We use sentences in these languages to communicate with each other, and we do so through expressing propositions, through making claims about the world using these sentences. But remember that the sentences aren't identical to the claims that we make using them. They're not identical to the propositions that they express. Remember, we said that the same sentence can be used to express two different propositions. I could say, for example, boy, the board really hit me hard. And I could be talking about a group of people sitting around a table that was yelling at me, or I could be talking about a plank of wood that nailed me over the head. We also said that the same proposition can be expressed by two different sentences. The same claim can be made by two totally different sentences. So for example, I could say, I like tacos. I could say, me gustan los tacos. And it's two totally different sentences, and yet I'm expressing the same claim about reality. So even though propositions are expressed by sentences, they're not identical to those sentences that express them. Now consider this English sentence that we saw in the last video. It will rain or snow today, or else it won't. Now remember, we said that there are actually a lot of claims that are being expressed by this little sentence. There are two basic propositions that we saw here. It will rain today, it will snow today. And at first, we connect them with a disjunctive connective. We say that this new proposition will be true if either it rains or it snows. Then we take the result and we actually sort of duplicate it and negate it, right? We make it into a negation. We say it's not the case that it will either rain today or it will snow today. And then we take both of those two results and we put those together in another disjunction. And we say the first one is true or the second one is true. The result really is more clearly expressed by the following sentence. It will rain today, or it will snow today, or it is not the case that it will rain today or it will snow today. Four connectives, four basic propositions. Now notice our original English sentence expresses this proposition just as well as this new English sentence. And in fact, it's a lot more compact, so it's a lot easier to get out. But it doesn't really show the structure of the proposition that's being expressed. In other words, the structure of the sentence, the original sentence, doesn't mirror the structure of the proposition that it expresses. And yet in logic, remember, it's the propositions that we care about, not the actual sentences. The propositions, remember, are those claims about reality. Those are the things that can be true or false. Not only that, but it's the structure of the propositions that we really care about. Remember, we said that's the way that we were going to relate these propositions so that we can get some kind of conclusions from them. So obviously, natural language is not going to be very helpful when we do logic. It's not going to reveal the structure of our propositions. It would be much more useful if we could come up with our own language that does mirror the structure of our propositions. We want a language that isolates the basic propositions and the connectives, shows us where each one is at. In this section, we're going to do just such a thing. We're going to make a language we'll call propositional logic, or PL for short. Now in natural languages, we use sentences to express propositions. Same thing here. We're going to be using the sentences of this new language to express the same propositions that we expressed with the natural language. Except that these sentences are going to look a lot different since we're specifically making them to mirror that structure. So we'll use the word formulas to refer to these sentences. We'll say that a formula is a sentence in formal logic and its structure mirrors the structure of the proposition that it expresses. So that is why we would want to make a totally new language to do logic in. What will this language look like? That is something for the next video. So for next time, please read section 2.2, the basic propositions of PL, and then go ahead and also read 2.2.1, glossaries.